Wes and Mike Teasy coming all strong.
Good morning and welcome to the conference call. I'm one of your co-hosts. My name is Chris Edwards and I'm here with my other co-host, TJ. What's up, TJ? How you doing today?
Hi, it's early.
It is early. We normally record this time of the day. So as
It's
you
early
can
for me.
yeah. So as you can see, we are still missing one co-host. We haven't pulled up his body yet. So hopefully we'll resurrect him sometime next week.
Or not.
Or maybe not. Who knows?
Leave his ass where he is.
Well, today's show is going to be kind of fun for me. I'm going to geek out a little bit. I'm an Apple fanboy, so I'm about to lose it a little bit.
About to geek out a lot.
Just a little bit.
Lord.
So today we're talking about WWDC 2023. Apple is currently going through their Worldwide Developers Conference. This past Monday was the keynote, and they introduced a bunch of new products and some revolutionary products as well, in addition to updates to all the software. So let's kind of run through some stuff real quick. First, they have a brand new 15-inch MacBook Air. I think a lot of people are going to be looking forward to purchasing that. It's an upgrade from the 13-inch that they currently have on the market, one of the thinnest and lightest MacBooks out there. In addition to that, the Mac Studio got updated, and then also, professionals have been waiting a long time for this. The Mac Pro got updated. They've been updated with M2 Max and M2 Ultra silicon chips from Apple. So these are going to be huge. You're able to get 192 gigabytes of RAM on these chips, which is, I don't know, I guess it's overkill. Like, who really needs that much RAM, even unless you're a movie studio? Yeah, but it's amazing. Price points, of course, are through the roof, but if you can afford it, that is the machine for you. So those were the major hardware updates. Well,
I got a question.
Go ahead.
Okay, so you have the MacBook Air.
Yes.
And then you have the MacBook Pro, right?
Yeah.
Is there just a MacBook?
They do have a MacBook as well. So there's three things. Yeah.
I need to know the difference between these
three. The MacBook is more of like the entry-level computer laptop for them. It doesn't have all the bells and whistles.
Okay.
The MacBook Air is probably their most popular computer because of the fact that it's so thin and light. And then also it does give you some bump up features. And then of course the MacBook Pro are quote unquote for the professionals. They are the high-end computers that have all the newer chipsets, the RAM, everything. And those typically start around, I think, like $25.99 and go up. You can get, I think, a MacBook Pro maxed out for like $5,000 to $6,000.
Oh, okay. That's full disclosure. I have a MacBook Pro, and I surely did not pay that type of money for it.
Right. Well, one, it's not completely spec'd out, and then on top, I don't think you have to. When did you get yours? Last year, right?
Last year, in an emergency.
Yeah,
in a class emergency.
So here's the thing: they sell standard ones that you can just go into the store and buy, or you can do custom build ones to order. And those custom build ones are the ones that are more expensive.
Jeez.
You can, put in like 4 terabytes of storage, 64 gigs. What is it? 128 gigs of RAM, something like that. They're huge. It's the upper echelon of those computers. So there's a different flavor for every Mac head out there. If you're going to college, more than likely, you're probably going to get either a MacBook or a MacBook Air. Being able to have a MacBook Air 15-inch is going to be a huge seller because people like that footprint. It gives you a nice real estate to really work, and it's still portable because it's really, really thin. I believe it's still less than 3 pounds. So that's huge for a laptop. It's really, really thin. It comes with a magnetic MagSafe connector, and then it also has, I believe, 2 USB-C Thunderbolt drives on them, so you can plug and play devices.
Yeah. I got me a MacBook Pro, and I should have just got a Leapfrog.
Yeah, but a Leapfrog wouldn't have liked to do the things you're doing now, and it wouldn't have gotten you to school. So MacBook all the way.
All right, moving on.
So, of course, this is the developers conference where people who code all the software that we use on all of our Mac devices. So, of course, they introduced iOS 17, iPad OS 17, Watch OS 10, and Mac OS Sonoma. So let's just kind of go through some of the key things I think that are going to be really big in some of the software. So let's start with iOS 17. What are you looking forward to in iOS 17?
So I did watch the keynote, and I remember getting excited about iOS 17. I think there was some updates to the texting feature that I got excited about. I don't remember what they are at this point. But there were a couple of things from it that I remember getting. I can tell you what I'm not excited about though. Being able to leave a voicemail on FaceTime.
So
Baby,
wait, a video
do it.
voice.
I
Well,
don't want you to leave
listen,
me a regular voicemail. Don't leave me no fucking FaceTime voicemail. I'm not gonna watch it. I'm not gonna do it.
See, I would be the one to leave the video voicemail.
Because my thing is, why is you calling me on FaceTime if it's not already planned and scheduled? Don't do that. Don't do that.
But see, so here's the thing. Like, I don't know. Me personally, I love the being able to see people. Like, even though I can't be there, I like to have that FaceTime connection. Because for me, that's where communication really happens. You can text, you can do a voice call, but when you're in person with someone, and I think that's what's wrong with today's society, a lot of people aren't having that face-to-face interaction because you can't get away with saying certain things without, if you're face-to-face, you can read a person's expressions and their tone and their personality. Whereas sometimes some people can't read context via text message or on the phone.
You know what? I feel like you as an extrovert, that makes perfect sense. Me as an introvert, you do not understand the level of just sheer, like, what the fuck when you get an unplanned FaceTime call.
Hold on. Even from friends?
Correct.
Ooh.
Let me tell you, if you're calling
self.
First of all, if you're calling me just a regular phone call, I'm already like, okay, why the fuck you calling me? If you are FaceTiming me out the blue, I'm like, what is wrong with you? Have you lost your fucking mind? Like, what are you doing? What is this? Did you mean to? Is this by mistake? I had a friend last year. And we don't talk very often at all, but he FaceTimed me out of the blue. I looked at the phone and I waited until the call ended, and I texted him. I said, what is going on? What are you doing? And he was like, oh, I just want to talk to you. I said, as an introvert, you absolutely do not FaceTime without warning. That is so strange to me. So the last thing I need is a voicemail from your unplanned FaceTime call. Absolutely not. No, thank you. You can keep that one, Apple.
Okay. I mean, it's not for different strokes. I mean, for different folks, right?
It's true.
All right. True. So one of the other things too is they updated the phone app, which hasn't been updated in years. And it's something very small, but I think very significant. Typically, when someone calls you, it shows their number and their name if you have it saved in your contacts.
Oh yeah.
What they've added now is like a wallpaper, or they're calling them posters, where you can create your own poster with your image, your emoji, your emoji if you want, with text and your name. So when that person calls you, it shows up, which I think is actually really, really. It's not innovative or anything like that, but it's something, one of those like little tiny touches that makes a big difference.
It's cute. It's cute. Yeah. I will say that it's cute. I do not know how much time I'm going to be spending on creating mine, because the keynote looked like it looked like Canva. It looked like you can go in and ask. I was like, now, Chad, I'll do this enough for work and shit.
No. It's nice to be able to customize and to do different things. And then also it is kind of like a Canva in a way, but also think of it as, when you're creating your Animoji to send out as a sticker.
Which I barely use.
Oh, I use mine all the time. I love
it. Oh, I know.
Oh, that's another thing. Stickers are system-wide now. So you can create a sticker by using any image. So say, for instance, last year they allowed you to touch and hold on a image, and it automatically will cut out the image.
Mm-hmm.
You can save that as a sticker now, and you can attach stickers to anything system wide in the OS. Before you can only do it in text messaging app. Now you can put it into anything, which I think is pretty cool. It's just another way of communicating and having a little fun. What else? I think one of the best features is going to be, and it's going to be really helpful, especially for parents and for loved ones, where you can it's making sharing your location a little bit easier. It's called check-in. So
Oh
like,
yeah, I
say
thought
for
that was
instance,
cute.
I think that's great. So one of the things, like especially like for me and Ronald, when he leaves, he goes out to work, and typically
Mm-hmm.
if I'm not here in the morning when he leaves, I'm either out on my walk or my run. um, he'll always let me know that he's leaving out, and he lets me know when he gets in. Now he
Yeah,
doesn't have to text me. It'll just automatically tell me that he's left, and then when he gets his destination. So
yeah.
in a way, it kind of cuts a step of letting you know that your loved one is okay. So you can turn it on and off when you want to. And I think it's gonna be really good, especially when you're trying to plan something with other people and you're trying to meet up at a location, to know when someone's left, versus have to constantly text them, "Have you left yet? Are you on the road? Are you there
Mm-hmm.
yet?" Like, I think that's a great, great feature. So I think iOS 17 has a lot of like little touches this year. Not a lot of new like heavy features, but a lot of like little things. The FaceTime. The one other thing that I'm looking for is called standby. So at nighttime, when you put your phone to charge, if you have it on a little stand, you turn it sideways, it'll give you. You can set up to give you different type of like widgets. It can either be a clock, it could be the calendar, it can be just an image of your photos, and then also has a nighttime mode, and it uses the ambient sensor in your phone to know how much ambient light is. So for instance, like on the Apple Watch, at nighttime, you can scroll to change your screen, the text on your screen, to a red. And what that does is it allows you to see better in the dark and not have it be that harsh light against your eyes. So it'll be able to do that as well. I thought that was such a great feature. A lot of people have little docks that they have um, at your bedside. And then
Mm-hmm.
also, a friend commented the other day after they saw this. It was like, "Oh, I can finally get rid of my clock radio on the side of my bed." I'm like, "You still have a clock radio?"
Baby, are you my
But
mama?
but that's a great, it basically is the clock radio of our time and generation. And
Yeah.
you can play music, you can do different things. When you wake up in the middle of the night, you're not fumbling to where's your phone or where's your watch to see what
Mm-hmm.
time it is. It's just right there. That's
I'm
definitely.
actually that was one of the things that I was like not excited about, but I was like, oh, that'll be really cute because I do like in the middle of the night or when I wake up in the morning, the first thing I do is look over to see like what time it is, and you do have to tap and so um I do appreciate that. I will be
Yeah.
taking full advantage of that.
So here's the one thing Apple's good for. Apple is always good for killing product categories off altogether. Like, this is going to kill off the alarm clock on the side of the bed.
Yeah.
Um, you know,
I don't know
um,
who still has that besides my mama and whoever your friend is, but
yeah, she still had one. I was like,
Lord,
"You still have one?"
Lord.
Oh, and the other big feature, and this is system wide. This goes for Macs, for iPhones, and iPads. They've enhanced their AirDrop, and then also they
Oh
with
yeah.
with the AirDrop, you're now able to, instead of having to ask someone for this phone or share their contact, you can literally just move your phones next to each other, and you'll share each other's contacts that way.
I'm really curious to see how well that's going to work.
Some people have
Um,
hiccups. I think it's going to work pretty good, actually,
because
and not.
I
God.
mean, I obviously have a handful, maybe more than a handful of Apple products, but I am nowhere near on the Apple like fanboy train as you are
Whew.
because every time they come out with these features, I get so excited about it, and then it either doesn't work the way as advertised or it works for a while and then a couple of software updates come and then it doesn't really work anymore. For
Well,
instance, my AirPods, I cannot get them to do what I need them to do between different devices, and then also when I'm wearing them and I walk away, if I'm connected to my MacBook and I walk away, y'all can't hear me anymore. So I'm like,
but here's the thing. You have to also remember, even though it's an Apple device, it's still using Bluetooth technology. Bluetooth technology, you can only use it within 30 feet. of the actual device. And then, but hold on, you have to also take into consideration walls are barriers. So if you
Uh-huh.
sometimes if you don't have good line of sight, excuse me, it doesn't work as well.
Okay.
And
Whatever you say.
you're going downstairs, so you're going past walls, you're going through floors. So sometimes that can be a factor.
I can go into the next room and y'all can hear me. Anyway, that's not what we're here to discuss. I, anyway, yes, the airdrop thing. I saw that and I was like, okay, that looks really cute, but it's so rare for me to use airdrop now. I'm like, I don't know how
Oh,
often I'll be using that, but I'm like,
listen.
that's really cute.
I don't know. Maybe because I'm just completely invested in the ecosystem.
Yeah.
You know, everything in our house is Mac based and
Mm-hmm.
Apple based. So
Mm-hmm.
like, so for instance, if I'm working on something on my iPad and then I decide I'm going to come in here in the office and work, I'll just airdrop it.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time I walk from either my bedroom or the living room, it's already on my desktop and it's open, so I can
Yeah.
start working.
Yeah.
But here's the one thing with the airdrop, and then we'll move on because I know I don't want to belittle this too much, but typically airdrops only work within a certain range. Once that range was exceeded, the connection was lost and it would fail to send. So now you can start an airdrop connection close by, and say you decide to, like, say you're home and you decide to leave, it will continue to do it, but what it does now, it will do it over Wi-Fi, or I believe it works over cellular. It will continue to push whatever you're
Mm-hmm.
sharing via the AirDrop technology.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, they've come out with some really good, small, but I think significant updates for iOS, and that's just basically the base. Now, moving on to iOS 17, iPad OS 17, they're bringing a lot of things that were originally on the iPhone previously and bringing it over. Like, so, for instance, one thing we didn't talk about on the other one was widgets. Widgets are now dynamic. You can actually interact with them on the screen. So before, widgets were just something you could look. They were glanceable items. You couldn't really interact with them. So, like, say for instance, you have a reminders widget on your phone. If you would click on it, it would open up the app. Now you can actually check off items just in the widget without having to open the app. So it saves you a step of going actually into the app and just interacting with the widget on the home screen, which is really, really good. So now iPad is getting widgets as well, and they're getting interactive widgets, which I think is really, really good. And then also iPad is getting the customizable wallpapers that we got in iOS from last year on the phone. So you'll be able to customize your iPad's home screen and do all the same things you can do on your iPhone. So basically, it's becoming really seamless from device to device. You can do everything from one device to the next. Same thing is going to be on Mac OS Sonoma as well. So that's one of the things you'll be able to do. Looking forward to that. And a lot more customization on iPad, and everything that's on the iPhone basically is ported over. Stickers, AirDrop, what else? The FaceTime, you can do FaceTime and leave FaceTime videos
Don't do
or
it.
FaceTime voicemails on that as
Not
well.
to me.
The other thing too about the voicemail, say you're leaving, you know how people screen their calls? 'Cause a lot of us screen because we don't know just like who it might be.
Oh,
But having them dictate the voicemail as their person is speaking on the other end and allowing you to determine if you want to pick it up or not. And if you decide that you do want to pick it up, you hit the accept button and it brings you right into the phone call. That right there is amazing technology.
that was the one thing. I'm glad you. Hey, boy, what's your name here?
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
this young man is very cute. I ain't never seen him before. Um,
We're recording, sir.
I'm aware. Um, I got excited about that. I was like, oh, I can actually see the message come through as they speak it. I am curious to know, like, so let's say you do accept it while they're like leaving the message. Like, I'm curious on their end, like what happens. Does it just pick up like automatically, or is there like a
It will
message to them that says this user
no,
answered the call or something?
no, it will pick up and then you can just talk like regular. And
But
here,
that's what I'm saying. Like, I guess like how what is that transition like? Because if I'm leaving you a message, hey, what's going on, blah blah blah, I was just calling, and then all of a sudden you're on the phone, I'm gonna like, okay, what What happened?
Well,
Or is there like some type of noise or
oh,
some
I
type of,
don't know. More,
you
more
know,
than
that I'm
likely,
curious about that.
more than likely, with Apple,
Yeah.
they always give you like some type of like little tone to signify that someone's jumping in or whatever.
Yeah.
What I loved about that, and what they showed was like if you're like say a parent's in a meeting and they really can't take a call right now, but say it's their child calling about something, they
Mm-hmm.
can either just look at the message just to know that the child is okay or whatever the fact, or if it's an emergency,
Mm-hmm.
they can just automatically pick it up. I think it's like I said, it's those little touches that make your life that much more meaningful.
Yeah.
You know, people in the tech industry might say, "Oh, that's not a big deal," but it is, especially to like parents and stuff. It's a huge deal. So, and then also the health app is coming to the iPad. Like the health app has typically been only exclusive to the iPhone. It's going to be on your iPad as well. Now, the one thing I didn't talk about on iPhone that I need to jump back on, and this is iOS system one, I believe, but iOS FaceTime calling is coming to the big screen. You're able to take a
Oh
FaceTime
yeah.
call on your living room TV.
Mm-hmm.
It uses the same technology as continuity. Continuity is where the devices talk to one another and you can go from one device to the next. So, for instance, how I record this show is I use my iPhone. It's mounted on the top of my monitor that I'm viewing this on, and it uses the camera to project the video. So what you're going to be able to do is they'll have little mounts that you can put like on your TV console, underneath your TV, or above your TV, allow you to put your phone up there, and then to have the FaceTime call on your TV. So you'll be able to see the other people that are in your FaceTime chat on your TV, and they'll be able to see you sitting on your couch or wherever you are, wherever you have your TV set up. I think that this is what I know what I've wanted. Sometimes, you want to just have a casual conversation, or there's another thing called share play. And I know we're getting into the weeds here, where you're able to watch a movie with someone else in sync. So, for instance, like say you're watching something on HBO, you want to watch whatever. You can during the FaceTime call, you can hit the share play button. It'll load on the other as long as the other person has Apple TV as well. You'll be able to watch the same exact movie in sync with them. You'll be able to see them in the upper right hand corner or wherever they place you and watch the movie. So you don't have to be in the same place to interact and watch movies and have those experiences anymore. A lot of times you have
Mm-hmm.
to go to someone's house, and sometimes you don't want to go to the person's house. You just want to be in the comfort of your own home, but you want to watch.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another great way of interacting. But yeah, like I said, all the things that are on just general iOS 17 are going to be on iOS for iPad as well. Okay, so let's move on. The next one was Watch OS 10. I am super excited for Watch OS 10. The interface is a little bit different. It's turning the the watch back into widgets. So you can have your traditional whatever your home screen is, but then you can scroll and then it'll bring up all relevant widgets that are pertaining to what you're
Oh yeah.
doing there.
Yeah.
I think that's such a great concept. They've kind of had something like this in the past, but they've reworked it, and I think this is going to be a huge, huge, huge update. It knows where you are, the time of things that you're doing throughout the day, and it only shows you the relevant information for where you are. So, for instance, my watch iOS knows that I typically go walking or running in the morning. It will bring up those screens for me, so I don't have to constantly go digging to find um, that particular app. So, for instance, I have my watch setup where I have certain watch faces for certain things, and sometimes I change them, then I have to go digging through to go find it. This will automatically just
Mm-hmm.
bring it up. So,
Oh.
looking forward to that, and then a lot of the exercise metrics, and they've added a ton of stuff like cycling and a bunch of other stuff. So, I'm looking forward to that. You have an Apple Watch.
I do now, yes.
Do you enjoy using it and like a lot of sharing functions of it?
So I literally only use my Apple Watch for like working out.
Okay.
Like I know it does a ton of other shit, but the main thing I use it for is like closing rings.
Yeah.
And like so when I was watching the keynote or whatever, and it was talking about the updates to watch OS, I was like, great. I don't think I'm going to be using any of these. Like, because if it's not like closing my rings or when I'm in the gym, I'm maybe responding to a text really quickly. Rarely will I like get a call and answer it real quick before I jump on the phone. So there's a lot that I don't do with my watch that I probably could or should. So I don't know, maybe in the future I'll use it more, but honestly, my watch face stays on.
The same one.
It stays on.
Oh,
It
on that
stays on
one.
my rings.
Okay.
It stays on my
Yeah.
rings. So
Depending on my mood, where I'm going, like if it's an event, like when I go to like social events, I have a like traditional watch face on. When I'm home during the day, I have a certain watch face. When I'm out running, I have a certain watch face. I even have it where it automatically switches watch faces depending on what I'm going to be doing. So for instance, even like when we do our recordings, I have an on-air like focus mode. It automatically switches my watch face to a certain watch face, so I don't get anything distracting coming in. I don't get any messages because I never want one, because I use my phone to record for video, interrupting like phone calls interrupting our video feed. So they're all tied. So for instance, when we go live or when we do recordings like this, it changes all my devices to the same focus mode, so there's no interruptions for anything. And that's what I use my watch for. And then the watch, you're getting two new watch faces. You're getting Snoopy, and then you're getting this dynamic one that changes color throughout the day. But the watch is so convenient for a lot of different things. So one of the things that I've used it for, or I do use it for occasionally, when we go to like somewhere new and there's a huge parking lot, I tag where I am using my watch so that I can always find the car when I go back. Because sometimes when you go somewhere new that you've never been and they have huge parking lots, the parking lots look the same everywhere.
Is it?
It uses the GPS to so it geotags where you are.
No,
With the
I
car.
know that. My question is it easier to do that on your watch than on your phone?
Yeah, because I put my phone in my back pocket and it's right, so it's on my watch face. So I just
Oh,
just
okay,
touch.
okay.
I
Because
just
I was
touch.
like, child, I would have to scroll like for 10 minutes trying to find it on my watch.
No, I have a watch face where that is the setup. Like I've got
Okay.
a bunch of like small apps, and I just click that and it's there, so I never have to worry about it.
Okay.
And then also, if your phone is attached to your car via Bluetooth, it automatically saves it, so it knows where to get back to your car. If you ever pull up the maps, it'll automatically show you. But so good updates for Watch OS. The last one is Mac OS Sonoma.
I feel like we can skip that one.
You're not really interested? All right. Well, this is real.
I mean, I'm just quite ready to talk about the actual one product that I actually might buy in a couple of years, to be honest.
All right. So Mac OS Sonoma, real quick. A lot of great new features. A lot of the same things that are on iOS are being ported over. A lot of easy to use type of things. Desktop widgets are a thing now. The same thing that's on iOS, iPhone, and iPad are coming to the desktop. Okay, so let's get to what we're really here for.
Please and thank you.
Every once in a while, Apple introduces a new product category or gets involved into a new product category. They're never ever really first to the market. They always tend to sit back, watch it, see what the market does, and then comes out and does it the Apple way. Just like the iPhone, the iPad, and the Apple Watch. This is a huge deal. This was the one more thing from their keynote. It's called Apple Vision Pro. It is an augmented reality headset, and it is amazing. It's going to cost $3,500, but it's a first-gen product. And of course, as the iterations of the generation of that product, the price will come down. I will give it till about the third generation until you see that price get cut in half, because it's not going to hit mainstream popularity until that price comes down to either 1,500, 2,000. I think is a little bit of a stretch for people. I think if it says 1,500, they would definitely buy it, because most people, when you're buying an iPhone, it's around $1,500.
Yeah, true. I don't see it being less than 50. I don't see it being around 1500 because the iPhone is already 1700
Yeah.
and this does like so much more. So I feel like
So
this is always going to be fairly expensive.
so
Not
this is
$3,500 always,
no.
obviously.
I honestly think the price point might be around 2,000 to
Yeah, I can see it.
2,300.
Yeah,
Because here's the thing, it's not just one device. Just like how the iPhone was not one device, it was a phone,
yeah.
it was a communicator, and an internet device. This is a computer,
Hmm.
a TV. I mean, I don't even know what a virtual
It,
reality headset. It's so many
yeah,
things. You can actually use this headset for your computer. You know, you can use
everything.
it. Yeah, it's amazing. So I know we have that video. You want to play that real quick?
Yeah, I just play like the first couple of seconds from it or whatever.
So if
Ooh.
you haven't seen it, this is what the Apple Vision Pro looks like.
And I love I I like most of the design of it. Um, and I'll talk a little bit more about it. Um,
Yeah, so I mean, the design is pretty straightforward. It looks like a high-end ski glasses type of thing. But here's the thing.
yeah.
This device is made out of one solid sheet of like highly polished glass and aluminum. It's less than I believe it says less than a pound or just about a pound. It's using all the technology they've curated over the years, and it has over 500 patents just for this device alone. This glass has
5,000 actually.
was it 5,000?
Uh-huh.
Okay, it has 12 cameras in it. It's got LED lights. It also has two LED panels in each eye. Each eye produces over a 4K display in each eye.
Hmm.
So when you're looking at the thing, it's better than 4K, um, and it's just amazing. And the other thing too is they don't even realize there's a screen on the outside, and what that does is it allows you to interact in a virtual space, but be able to see the room that you're in, and you can determine the type of transparency. You can either just have a few screens, or you can completely block out the outside world. And then also, when someone comes into the room, into your line of vision, it will show you that person. And then what happens is it shows a 3D representation of your eyes, because on the inside of the glass, they have cameras that are actually tracking your eyes,
Yeah.
which is amazing.
That is the weirdest part to me.
It's
That
weird,
is the weirdest part to
but
me.
here's the thing, though. I think it's innovative, but then also I think it's very practical, because a lot of times when people wear those headsets, they
Yeah.
have no reference when someone comes into the room. You can never be startled anymore, because the minute someone comes into your peripheral, you'll see them, and
Hmm.
you can
And they can see
acknowledge them,
you.
and then they can see you.
And I get it. I understand the function. I appreciate that. At the same time, though, it's like you aren't looking at me. You are looking at my avatar. That is so strange to me. And then also with the FaceTime calls, it's like
Yeah.
you actually are not looking at me. You're looking at
No.
my 3D
Yeah.
representative. But I mean,
But that's
that's what the
technology.
metaverse is going to be anyway.
Listen,
So
I think that is so crazy, because when they're sitting there talking about this originally, before they talked about the avatar, I'm like, well, okay, great, you can do a FaceTime call, but no one's gonna be able to see you. Like the
I
whole
said
point of
that,
FaceTime.
yeah, I said that too.
But
I was
then
like,
when
well,
they,
how do they see you?
so how this works is, as you get your Vision Pro glasses, the setup process is you have to actually hold the glasses in front of you, and because they have so many cameras, the camera scans you using the lidar detector that's built in, just like on the iPhone. So it uses the same technology to unlock your iPhone via your face to
Hmm.
unlock.
Hmm.
It scans you. It makes a 3D representation of it. All this is done within 2 minutes of you setting this thing up. And then what happens is, when you do a FaceTime call, because it has the eye sensors in there, it's able to track your eyes. So it puts that 3D model, it tracks your eyes, and it because it knows speech, it moves the mouth in sync with how you're speaking.
Hmm.
crazy. Now, here's the thing. All this is being done on device. There's no separate computer. It's all done. There are two chips. There's the Apple M2 and a new chip called the R1. Now, the M2 is the same chip that are in the MacBook Pros, all the MacBooks and all the Macs, period. And then also in the iPads and iPhones. Same. Yes, I am geeking out very much so. I love technology, and I don't love technology for technology's sake. I love technology for what it allows you to do as far as like workflow and stuff like that. You know, I use all of my stuff to try to make my life a little bit easier, and it allows me to multitask a little bit more. And I don't see myself being a Gen 1 buying that. I cannot justify that price.
Oh yeah, no.
My husband would kill me, first of all.
Yeah, no.
But you know, second, third gen, absolutely.
Yeah,
Because
I'm looking forward to the more streamlined design. I'm looking forward to the version where you don't have a battery pack that you have to take along with you.
well,
That's the one thing I'm like,
so here's
no.
the thing. I don't mind it. I'm going to tell you why. Because the minute you put a battery in that device, either the back of the headrest or in the front, that product becomes heavy. And the problem with that is fatigue. They want you to be able to wear this throughout the day. To be able to have that battery pack for 2 hours, I think that's actually pretty good. You can actually watch a full-length movie.
No, I get that 100%. What I'm saying is I will wait for when you can design a battery smaller and lighter that it can go in the headset, that it doesn't add that much weight.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like, it's to me, if I like the fact that it's a product that's going to be available, but it also feels very generation one. Like this is the first of its kind, and I'm like, Now, when the first iPhone came out, I went and got it because it was the first of its kind, and I was like, I feel like I've been waiting for something like this. So, but this one, I'm like, I'm gonna wait until y'all first of all work out all the kinks and all of this. But then also, let's get to a point where the battery, I don't have to tote this around.
So,
and maybe when the headset itself becomes smaller, lighter, more streamlined. Because honestly, I would love something where it's just like glasses, as opposed to like a headset or whatever.
So here's the thing. Speaking about glasses, for those people that wear glasses, they actually have worked out something with Zeiss. And Zeiss are, for those that don't know, Zeiss make lenses for like cameras and other telescopes and that type of stuff. You can get your prescription put into these lenses, and they pop they magnetically pop in. So if you're a prescription wearer, this is not going to be a point where you can't get into this space. You'll be able to get your prescription and pop those things in, which is actually really, really good. Now, the other thing too, they didn't really talk about this a lot, but they kept saying, oh, you know, you can get 2 hours of battery life if you use the battery, or you can just plug in. I think they're going to actually have some type of wall adapter where you can plug into a wall. So for people who are using this for work, where you're either like sitting at a desk or you're kind of in a small confined space, I think they're going to have it where you can actually plug into a wall. That would be awesome. Then I'd be buying. I mean, not the first gen, but I'd definitely buy that because I can see myself. You wouldn't need to buy a computer monitor anymore. You can use your iOS device. So I wouldn't necessarily have to buy another computer. And the other thing too is if you have a Mac, you can literally just look with the glasses on, look at your Mac, and then look back up, and it portrays your Mac laptop or desktop in air. So now, you know, you're not just looking at a 15-inch screen or a 27-inch display. You can do full screen, and you can edit just by using your hands. And that was the one thing that all the people that have tried this on said that it was amazing in how intuitive it was to use. It literally, you look at an item and it tracked your eyes and it went to that item and highlighted it. And all you have to do is pinch to select that item. You can pinch and scroll. You can pinch and push away. It doesn't require you to have any external devices like most other virtual reality stuff. You have to have these things that you're in your hand, you're moving around. You're literally just using all of the things that you're used to. We, as people who use iOS and Mac devices, know that we're using our fingers and our hands to move things around. It's intuitive.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is you don't have to hold your hands up to do this. You can have them just resting in the couch, because there are even cameras on the underside of the glass, so it can see what you're doing while you're sitting down.
So yeah, it's classic Apple innovation, which I appreciate 100%, which is why I am actually excited about it, because it's these days, honestly, it's really difficult for me to get excited about a new Apple product, because I'm just like, what is this going to do for me? But this, I'm like, I feel like we've all been waiting for this, because, Facebook/Meta came out with
Trash.
Oculus or whatever. Like there have been virtual reality or augmented reality like headsets on the market
Google
for a
Glass.
while, for a while. And so it was only a matter of time before Apple actually entered that market. So it makes sense, and I'm excited about it. But again, yeah, I'm like, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna give y'all a little bit of time. I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna come around maybe version 3 or 4, and see what y'all putting out then. But yeah, I'm excited about it, because honestly, it takes advantage of all the space around you. It's spatial computing, as they say.
Yeah.
And so yeah, you can do multiple different things. You can have a screen over here and a screen over there, and so it's like it takes advantage of all the air and space around you.
Right.
I
And
appreciate that.
I think what I everyone has loved about it is the fact that, because you've got these glasses on, all the other headsets, when you put those glasses on, you lose the outside world. With this, you don't. You're still
Yeah.
you can still see your physical space. So one, you're not going to be fumbling over furniture,
Yeah.
bumping into walls. And that's where the motion sickness came from with all these other headsets. Everyone that's put this on so far says they don't get that motion sickness that they get with other VR headsets.
Yeah.
And I think that was the barrier that needed to be broken for people to feel comfortable. And they said it felt lightweight.
Mhm.
I've used the Oculus, and after a while, it does feel kind of heavy on your head, and then not being able to perceive the space that you're in is so nerve wracking, because you trip over things. You don't,
Yeah.
you have no sense of spatial awareness. But with this, you literally, if I had it on right now, I'd be able to see the monitor, the lights, and I can still interact the way I'm interacting now.
Yeah.
And I think that's the key. I think that is the thing that they solved that no one else has been able to solve before. And the fact that it's using all these cameras to do it, like I totally get why it costs what it does.
Yeah, for sure.
Because
I
think
mean,
about it, your iPhone costs $1,500. It has what? Four
3.
it has 4 cameras on it, one in
Yeah.
the front and 3 in the
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
This has 12 cameras.
Yeah.
And then it has cameras that are looking at your eyes and tracking you. It has LiDAR. It has there's a
A
bunch
bunch
of
of
sensors.
yeah.
It's got 3 sets of screens. Not only does it have screens in front of you, it has a screen in front of the
Mhm.
that people can see out. So it's just an amazing piece of technology.
It is.
Super, super excited. Can't wait for it to come out and to start seeing people review it, share it online next year, because this is not coming out until next year. What they've done is, like they did with the iPhone, they introduced it months in advance so that developers can start to program apps for it, so that when this thing launches day one, there will be an ample app store to
Mhm.
take advantage of all this new technology. So super excited.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah. So I think that this WWDC was probably one of the best. I compare this to the unveiling of the iPhone. I
I
think
agree.
people were excited about Apple Watch and iPad, but like there's something about when the iPhone launched, it was just like it was revolutionary. Everyone lost their shit over it.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, I mean, the rumors have been out there. I've been waiting for it. I've been seeing all the renderings and stuff like that, the renders of it, but to actually see it, for them to unveil it. And what I loved is, they did the classic Steve Jobs. There's just one more thing, and like that's when you
Mm.
get like the goosebumps
Mm.
and you're excited. But
Yeah, it's like you said, it is very it definitely gave first iPhone vibes,
yeah,
because like you said, when that first iPhone came out, there were a lot of phones on the market that had like a touch type of interface where you could kind of sort of touch with your finger, but you also maybe needed a stylus to really
yeah,
do it best. But then when the iPhone came out, it was truly you just use your finger. And so yeah, this very much gives that, and so I appreciate it in that way. Yeah, so I'm excited to see like the future of these. I'm also excited for a new iPhone at some point, and some new
September.
AirPod Mac. I never AirPods Max. I always say I
Yeah.
always want to say AirPod Maxes. AirPods Max. I'm excited for those because I do want some of those at some point. But yeah.
Also, here's the thing though. Just kind of go back. You mentioned something about your AirPods before, AirPods Pro. They have a new software update that's going to be coming out in the fall with it, and it'll allow you to do a lot more things. And they're fixing a lot of bugs that were in the current software. So you'll
Okay.
probably be able to go back and use your AirPod Pros. I'm looking for another pair of AirPod Pros. I'm having a little crackling sound in one of mine, so it's time to upgrade. But you know, looking forward to it. And you know, this has been a great episode. I got a chance to kind of geek out this time.
Yes, Lord. We knew that was gonna happen, child.
Just a little bit.
A little bit.
Check that like, oh, you can't hear me? It's too
We
high.
can now. We can now.
I don't know what it is. But anyway, don't forget to subscribe, to like this video, and then also to share it. And don't forget to hit the notification button so you can get notified when we drop new videos. Guys, this has been great, and we'll see you next week. And I think we'll have Rex back next week.
Maybe.
Deuces.
Nah. Bye, deuces.